Welcome back to another edition of the MASSP podcast. My name is Ryan Casey. Today, we have the new Assistant Director at MHSAA, Brad Bush, joining us to talk about a program that is available to your current juniors and seniors that allows them to get trained and registered as officials. There are some new curricular resources available to schools, including online modules, and once the students are registered, they can even ref your school's own sub-varsity contests. So let's listen to see how it all works. So enjoy your ride to or from school, your run on the treadmill, or however you like to listen, because another MASSP podcast episode starts now. Okay, and welcome, Brad Bush, to the podcast. Thanks so much for spending your afternoon with us.
Thanks for having me.
Brad is the new Assistant Director at MHSAA, but before we jump into talking about preparing the next generation of officials, Brad, can you just give our listeners a little bit of background information about yourself?
Sure. For the last 26 years, I've been at Chelsea High School, Morris School just west of Ann Arbor. I served a lot of roles there. I was a classroom teacher. I was the head football coach for 22 years. I was an assistant principal, and then I was a longtime athletic director as well as assistant principal. So spent a lot of time in different roles, and I've been here at the MHSA for about 3 months. I'm in charge of football with Will McCoy, in charge of baseball. And when it comes to officials, my role is to recruit new officials. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about. But that's my main responsibility here at the MHSA.
Awesome. So pretty new at MHSAA, but obviously jumping right in. So, I got to say, Brad, I was a former high school principal, and I feel like my work at MASSP has me pretty in the know when it relates to school programs available. And I got to admit, I was kind of surprised to learn about options for our current juniors and seniors who can become trained to be registered officials while still in school. So obviously that's the gist of what we're talking about today, but how long has this been an option? How long has it been around, and how popular has it been so far?
This is what's called the MHSA Legacy Program, and it's been around for a long time. I probably go back 15 to 20 years ago. Wow. When I first started teaching an officiating class and working with the MHSA. So in that, the MHSA has always provided a rule book and free registration, and then juniors and seniors in high school can referee sub-varsity contests. And it's actually fairly common to see high school students, especially at the middle school level, where they are officiating, being paid, and being partnered with a mentor, veteran official to get them started. So this program, in terms of that, has been around for a long time. The MHSA has always allowed every athletic director 2 free registrations to help students. What we're trying to do is invigorate that program and get information out about how teaching officiating can be infused into the curriculum during the day, and really creating an environment where hopefully we can have more kids exposed to this as an option. Absolutely.
So you mentioned kind of the school component to us. So can you walk through what that actually looks like? I know there's kind of a basic component with some curriculum that can be provided, but then there's also some advanced, more in-depth online modules. So you can just talk about that program and the differences there.
Well, right now we surveyed our membership, and about 5% of the schools in Michigan currently have some kind of officiating class in the curriculum, typically taught within the physical education department, but not always. We also have around 4 to 5% of our schools which are teaching it as a unit or units within some class, like a team sports class or maybe a leadership class. So what we really see this in a couple different ways. Number one is that if schools are interested in either creating a standalone course in officiating or infusing this into a current course, we want to help be a resource to help them. We have partnered with a company called RefReps, and RefReps is a really dynamic online program which can help to teach and certify students in all of the sports that we offer. It is it is a program that could really be used in my mind, 3 ways. You could take it and put it into an existing course. It could be the key tool in a course that you are developing. And because these modules can be used synchronously or asynchronously, they could actually be used as a standalone asynchronous kind of a model where students work through it. We believe that teaching it with a classroom teacher is the best way to do it, but it could be done asynchronously. We also are seeing schools that are putting this as part of a course where students work asynchronously on their sport, but they have a teacher in the classroom who's teaching general officiating, sportsmanship kinds of principles. So there's a lot of different options, but our partnership with RefReps is something that we're really excited about. And as we've presented it to many schools, we've seen a lot of positive feedback. And RefReps has partnered with all of the states in the Midwest. They're working with over half the states now. And their curriculum is pretty robust. And it's exciting, I think, for someone that taught this class without anything like that. It's a great tool.
And I know I was fortunate. You showed me when we had a chance to talk about this the other week. I think it was like a sample video for the online module where it was like the point of view from a ref, and it was like, hey, was that a block? Was it a charge? It was, this assessment piece popped up, and so that part was really, really slick. So it seems like a great avenue for schools that want to be able to provide this opportunity for their students. So could you talk a little bit about maybe some of the benefits for the students, why they should consider doing this, maybe why schools should consider trying to, since there's only about 5% doing this, why they should consider offering this curriculum and this opportunity as well?
I don't think there's a lot of schools that even realized this was an option until we've started to promote it. So while that number is low, I think this, for some people that I've talked to, really, this is a new concept. I think that this matches with so many things that school districts are trying to do, whether it be CT education or getting kids certified in areas. This is an opportunity with what I would argue is not a large investment to expose kids to something where they can get started for very little cost and make money immediately. The fees that we are paying officials now have really gone up of late. And it's a basic economics lesson. We have a huge shortage of officials. The average age of an official in the state of Michigan is 57 years old. And so what's happening is that young people now can go out and make real money immediately on their own time without a set schedule, because they can work around their own schedule, and we can provide that opportunity. So like if from the commercial standpoint of why you should do that, I think that that's a huge thing. The second part of it is this really gives, we do a lot of things in PE that are, we talk about lifelong wellness and health. This matches that. In PE, we want to expose them to the other side of athletics and contests, where now, whether they ever become an official, they would be exposed to it and see that, well, this isn't as easy as I thought it was. And hopefully we could increase some sportsmanship as well, not just now, but for the rest of their life when they go to games. So I think there's a lot of really positive impacts that something like this can have on kids.
Absolutely. I can imagine with my athletic director hat walking over to the rowdy student section who are complaining about a call, say, hey, think you can do better? I've got a course for you to try, right?
Right. And that's 100% correct. That's and it, even better than that, there's not many fields where I know that we could get them started, they could make money tomorrow, and we know that we're going to be able to get them jobs. The job market is wide open. We can help them. And for many of them, if they want to take it seriously, they can make some real significant money doing this.
Absolutely. I just think about the type of jobs a high school student typically works. It's, an hourly thing. Maybe it's fast food industry. It's something where it's pretty, minimum wage based, and the wages that they can make in a single night, even if it's a lower level middle school type of contest. If you think about it, the per hour, they're there for a couple hours, they can make some serious amount of money.
Right. Well, my eyes were open. My son was a college student looking for a summer job, and he got into umpiring. And obviously, a lot of this was outside of the MHSAA, but he umpired in the summertime and made more money doing that than he would have in what I'd call a traditional summer job. And I think he had a lot more fun doing it. So, my eyes became very open to the options that are out there, not only from an MHSA perspective, but all of the travel organizations, youth organizations, etc. And if they become a registered MHSA official, anytime that they officiate on any level, they have a $6 million liability policy that goes with them. And we at the MHSAA will register them for free the first time through. So literally their registration costs are free, rule book is free, all the access to online content is free, as long as they're being trained on the front end, which is where this officials class comes into play.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good to know. I didn't think about those other kind of benefits that may not cross your mind. So we talked about them being able to do sub-varsity contests. Can you just touch on it real quick? Because I know naturally with my school administrator hat on, I'm thinking, all right, I need games at my own school to get covered. So there are a little bit of limitations. They can do certain contests and not others at their home school district, correct?
Correct. So as long as they are working sub-varsity contests, they can work their home games at their home school. So we have a lot of schools right now that are really struggling, as an example, for middle school basketball, where they're literally hiring one official who's more of a veteran, and their other person they're hiring is a student in their school. And to be honest, at the middle school level, you see a younger person out there, usually the people are very understanding. They work with them, but they have an older mentor on the court, in this case basketball, with them, who is going to help them. And really, we all know that's the best place to learn. But I've talked to a number of athletic directors that have kind of formed their own programs using this similar model, even if they don't have the class, where they've gotten them started and they've gotten them registered for free, and they have a kind of a pipeline of young officials that are helping them solve the problem, but they're also helping these kids to get started. And they're paid just like every other official. They're not paid a reduced rate or anything like that. They make the same wage that the other officials do.
Awesome. You mentioned at the beginning, this has been around for a while, though maybe not very many schools know about it. Are there some schools off the top of your head that have kind of participated or used this program regularly over the years?
Without question. And I would use Gibraltar Carlson High School right now has partnered with RefReps. They were ahead of the game in terms of our new partnership. They've paid for the seat license for their students, and they're using that currently. Lake Orion High School has done a really good job with their program. And there are a lot of them. I mean, those are two that right off the top of my head, but there are lots of them around the state that are currently doing it. And I have, over the last month, I've answered a lot of emails and questions. We actually also are starting a series of webinars with RefReps themselves for people that want to get on that. I sent an email to every athletic director in the state with links to register for the webinars. And we have a series of those in April. And if anyone wanted to get more of that information, they could reach out to me, which is brad@mhsa.com. Pretty simple. But I would be happy to send you those links if someone wanted to get on there and learn more about the RefReps option, which is the online module.
Very cool. Well, I'm hoping that the wheels are turning for whether it's an athletic director or a principal or an educator that might be listening to this, and hopefully they can go back and talk to their admin team to see if this would be an option, for all of the many reasons that you shared. So, it's one of those, seems like one of those rare programs that has a lot of benefits to all the different stakeholders. It helps the problem with finding officials. It helps the school with, they're always looking to provide elective course content to engage juniors and seniors, right? And it's a cool opportunity for students to make some money.
It does. And I also would say, as a longtime PE teacher, we want to make PE legitimate. We want to have real quality assessments and standards. And the RefReps model is great because it provides pacing guides. It provides the LMS, learning management system, with it, and quality assessments along the way. So all the things that we're looking to have quality PE instruction, I think this just helps with that. And this would not be just a static sit in the classroom course. There would be a lot of activity in the gym. If you think of it from a 5-day perspective, you might be in the gym 2 days a week, guest speaker 1 day a week, 2 days a week, you're working through the modules and classroom discussion work. So when you look at it that way, it really also, it provides some real legitimate PE content for the
Absolutely.
PE teacher.
Yeah. Well, I think it seems like a great program. So you mentioned that they can check out some webinars in April. They can reach out to you via email if they want some more information. So hopefully they take advantage of that, and we can get some more kids involved in officiating, and they can use that really as a lifelong skill or extra career opportunity. So Brad, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for being on the podcast, and hopefully we'll get some officials coming your way.
Thank you. Appreciate all your help. Sorry. Appreciate all your help.
And that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening to the MASSP podcast. Remember, you can listen to this podcast and others anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just search for MASSP or hit the subscribe button right now.